Hello everybody, I am here today to basically talk shit about the Ash and Iron content drop. Now, I waited, around 24 hours to make this video just to be sure that my eyes were seeing exactly what it was they're saying, that it wasn't missing anything. Obviously every season, new season, there's always some, misinterpretation on what exactly is going on. But no, I'm just gonna give you the thesis, my conclusion, that this is the worst release of a season we quite literally have ever seen. The last time it was this bad was season of the Worthy. Now, to express my feelings on what I think is wrong specifically, we kind of have to go back a little bit to the developer stream, the Renegades reveal slash Ash and Iron reveal, right, that happened on Tuesday. The vast majority, I think like 45 minutes or 40 minutes of that stream was dedicated to showing off Renegades content, that being a small Vidoc. They call it a Vidoc, but it was really just like a narrative tell. It wasn't a traditional Bungie Vidoc like we have ever seen. It was so much shorter than I think it should be. And then, on a dime, kind of just smashed into Ash and Iron. Now, for Ash and Iron and Renegades to both be revealed on the same day, I felt was a little bit confusing, because considering we hadn't received any information besides a small trailer, around a week before the launch of Ash and Iron, I was kind of hesitant to think that anything big was going to happen. Now, this all goes back to content delivery, the new cycle that they have going for Year 8 of Destiny 2, and whether or not that it was going to be a success. Now, we had seen it be described before as Rise of Iron level expansions combined with smaller content drops. Now, those smaller content drops were previously compared to be around the size of a Warmind or of a Curse of Osiris, going back to the expansion and sub-expansion level of content drops rather than the big expansion at the beginning of the year, and then we get 4 seasons throughout, which all get deleted by, the end of that year before the next expansion. Now, I understand that this is only the first week of Ash and Iron, and everything that was promised to be released in this free update, I guess I'm gonna call it, hasn't been put into the game yet. The exotic mission, per the studio, per the communication lead at the studio, DMG, is not finished yet. It wasn't finished, so it wasn't able to be released at launch, and that exotic mission is where we're going to get the axe. That is technically a sword, so we're going to be getting the axe sword fairly soon. There's also other story that allegedly isn't being dropped yet. There's things like the Arms Week, Festival of the Lost, seasonal event stuff, like 1 week out of the season level event stuff, or in Festival of the Lost case, two-week event. You understand what I mean. But the actual drop of content for the free update Ash and Iron it's embarrassingly low. It really is embarrassingly low. Most of the playtime for new Destiny expansions or new seasons come within those, first 2 weeks. That's when we see the most amount of players playing the game, and then they'll come back for the last week or so, just to finish, I guess, playing what they paid for. That is a not insignificant portion of the community that does that, and this might as well have just been another week. I mean, with the exception of getting a rewards pass, with getting a rewards pass, there are 100 new levels or 110 new levels of the season to earn new cosmetics. The only thing we got was an event that's going to be going away in a week. So it's just confusing to me how this was shipped this way. It's just baffling. It just is baffling. Like, I struggle to put together the words to express how confused I am with the direction that this is going. Like, there is a reason. There is a reason why the studio is calling it a free update. This may as well be like Queen's Wrath or Arms Week or SRL. Like, there just is nothing. It's a less than 5-minute story mission, right, in the tower that you can I guess, speed run through. There are new lore pieces to find around in the actual reclaim in the reclaim missions. And that's it. Like, again, I just struggle to understand who okayed this launch. Now, to actually speak about the content that was released, which is basically nothing, we have a exotic pulse rifle, or an exotic rocket pulse rifle, that I think is just going to get nerfed in 2 seconds. Actually, scratch that. DMG, Dylan Gaffner himself, personally replied to me when I asked him to please continue to make balance changes, and he said, quote, "Non-critical is the goal. We will absolutely make balance changes as necessary. We need to be more strategic and more communicative in what we do and when we do it. The current perception of only nerfs to fund no buffs, and we need to fix that." And then he goes on to say something to the effect of, if it's breaking the game, we'll fix it, but if it's not breaking the game, we're just going to leave it alone for now. To which I told him, please, dear God, let me just get into the development environment to nerf Graviton Spike and Shotgun hand cannons. Anyway, so it's likely not going to get nerfed until somebody finds a Telesta-level bug that is just going to break the game, which this thing just shuts down Titan Shield, so I'm sure somebody is going to take offense to that at some point. But besides this rocket pulse rifle, we have the reclaim activity. Now, the reclaim activity is featured in 2 parts. One, it is featured as, just in regular fire team ops. We have the reclaim activity they're going into, and we have what I think is going to be a recurring weekly event that is going to show up. That's going to show up on weeks where there isn't any other event, like Arms Week or Festival of the Lost. So this is something that you can play season round or free update round, but you're not going to be able to play it when there is quote-unquote something else to do, which kind of shows to you the level of focus that is being paid to Reclaim. Now, Reclaim in and of itself, you run around the Plague Lands. I'll get to the Plague Lands in just a second, because I certainly have some thoughts on the directorial decisions that were made surrounding the Plague Lands. But you run around the Plague Lands. These are environments that we have known, and when I say you run around, I mean you basically explore one of 4 curated areas, and then you teleport between those areas. There is no free explore to the Plague Lands. This was an absolute layup to be able to include something like a free explore of the Plague Lands. But hey, listen, I guess they didn't want us to discover. Go out of bounds and find out that they didn't actually model in the launch area for Wrath of the Machine. But they actually left in Wrath the Machine, or this shit was ported, or it was modeled. Anyway, Wrath the Machine, the entrance is technically in the game. You have to out of bounds to get to it, but hey, it's better than nothing, I guess, because we aren't getting my Wrath the Machine back. So yeah. But moving on to Reclaim, it is essentially like the longest strike you have ever played with some marginally interesting added objectives. I'm not going to say that Reclaim is bad. I actually enjoyed my times playing it so far. My only concern is that it just takes a really long time, and at the end of it, you're not getting powerful gear. When I say powerful gear, what I mean is you're not getting the actual numbies go up in your power level, but that is due to a bug currently. Allegedly, it is going to be fixed relatively soon, so that we can actually level up to 550, or we can level up to 500 and then RNG our way to 550. I'd like to see how Defizzle is faring right now, trying to grind in a bugged environment. But yeah, to say the least, there's so many bugs regarding the actual core activities for Destiny. There's shit like taken blights that just insta-kill you. There's stuff like a Sturm Drang, and one more new sidearm were released. Just new Sturm synergies, new Mida synergies. It's stuff like that are just broken to the point where holding an overcharged round in Sturm gets you something like 350% extra damage on all of your abilities, which is something that I genuinely don't even know how it made it past the developer who was working on it, right? This isn't something that, like, QA must have missed it. This is something like, if you're a developer making a game, make a change like this to any weapon, right? You go into a dev environment to test it. Now, I'm not going to say that Bungie don't play their game. but it is fairly obvious to me that they either knew about this bug and left it in intentionally because it is a bugged amount of damage. You're able to one phase 5 feet Desert Perpetual just by using grapple melee, right? It's made grapple melee so much better by extension. Either that or just the QA department doesn't exist anymore. However, you know, I know people who work in QA, so it's just impossible. So they must have not done a QA pass on Ash and Iron, and everybody's just working on Renegades right now. But you know, you can't get them to say that because NDAs. So as I sit here, the only thing I can think is this is Ass and Iron. It is the worst update. When I'm not even exaggerating. Like this is a nothing launch. This was just a weekly update that's being disguised as a DLC. I hope it'll get better, but for now, I think I'm just done with Destiny. It's shocking. Like, I'm not going to play this game outside of making videos for it. I'm not gonna, you know, grind my usual, like, 40 hours a week, like my second part-time job or whatever. Like, I can't treat this game like that anymore. It's just a criminal lack of respect for our time, where they can sit here and call this a worthwhile update while half the content of the update is missing and the other half that exists is embarrassing. They tried to make a nostalgia bait Rise of Iron update, and they've just succeeded with pissing everybody off because this is a nothing burger update. I have nothing else to say. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit in my live reaction when I was done with the first hour and a half of playing the expansion, and besides that, I hope each and every single one of you has a great day. Borderlands 4 launches in a couple hours as of the time that I'm going to be uploading this video. I think I will be uploading this on 9/11 sometime around noon. So hopefully Borderlands 4 is good because Destiny just isn't good right now. Besides that, I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching if you made it this far, and have a great day now. That's it. There's nothing else that really appears to be it. What on earth were they thinking? I'm a bit confused as to what the hell's going on. What the hell's going on with this season? As far as I can tell, that's literally it. It's just an event, reclaim, and a new rewards pass. Yeah, I'm really confused right now. Who thought this was okay to ship? There's no exotic mission as of right now because it isn't done yet. No raids, no Rat the Machine. Maybe there's more activities in the portal. Solo? No, it's still the same. Anything new that wasn't in a portal last season? I don't think so. I think all of this was in the portal last season with the exception of Reclaim, Contest Elders, Fallen Saber, Hypernet Current, Expeditions, Pirate Season missions. We all already know how I feel about Pirate Season missions. I hate them. So that's not worth it. Crucible, of course. Nothing in Crucible, as always. And Pinnacle. Allegedly, our Node Avalon was added. The dungeon, Heffin's Vengeance, just the Heffin's Vengeance encounter was added to the Pinnacle. The loot isn't updated, but you know you can get a Pinnacle now. Beneath the Acropolis, Nightmare of Galran, Presage. So they added 5 kind of missions to Pinnacle. 4 of them just being individual dungeon / exotic mission. No, 3 of them just individual dungeon encounters, which are kind of lame. 1 of them is in 2 exotic missions. I don't understand. Yeah, I really don't understand what the hell they're thinking. Seasonal Hub, any new conquests? Okay, so the conquests are replayable now. You don't get any loot for them. And there are 6 new conquests. 6 new conquests that you have to do an infinite power grind to get through. The issue with this is that power leveling. It's broken right now. You're supposed to be able to level from previously the regular cap was 200, the pinnacle cap was 400, and then the RNG cap, I guess you can call it, the RNG cap, it was 450. This one, you're supposed to be able to level from 400 to 500 on pinnacles, and from 500 to 550 on RNG, but it's broken right now and you can't actually level. So not to say I'm confused, but yeah, I'm confused. Like, what's the point? It's got to be like the worst season release I've ever seen. Like, and that's not even an exaggeration. Has to be as worse as season. Has to be as bad as Season of the Worthy, in terms of content delivery. Yeah, this is terrible. I really don't want to play this. I think I'm just gonna go play Borderlands 4 when it launches tomorrow.